Hello, second grade. We are working on Skills Unit 5, lesson number 21 today. Our learning targets, we're going to talk about alphabetizing or putting in alphabetic or ABC order, our new spelling words that we'll get today. We're going to review different sounds for the A spelling. So what different sounds does the letter A make in different words? And we will be talking about you reading the story The Wizard and some comprehension questions you're going to be working on your Google form. So we do have a new list of spelling words this week. These are words that you need to be practicing while you are at home. Okay, you have 5 lessons. That's a 5-lesson sequence before you test out on these words. The words this week all have the ending LE, EL, or TION. So let's take a look at these words together. Right now they're sorted by ending. So our first column are all words that end in the ul sound, spelled LE. So we have turtle, bundle, pickle, shuffle, and cattle. Make sure when you're writing shuffle and cattle, you pay close attention to our double consonant. Notice we have 2 F's, we have 2 T's, right? Our second column are words that end in the ul sound also, but are spelled using EL. Okay, so label, angel, gravel, gravel is like stone, and jewel. Okay, all ending in the ul sound, both of these columns. You're going to have to practice making sure you don't get the LE and the EL mixed up this week. That's going to be the most important part. And then you have words that end in ION. And not only do these words end in ION, they all actually end in TION. So we're looking at a shun ending. I want you to say the sound shun. Good. So we have fiction, education, inspection, motion, and question. Question's a little bit different. It doesn't say sh, it says ch. Question. And our tricky word that you're going to actually practice spelling this week is the word schwa. Now you guys have been practicing the schwa sound for several weeks now, but now you need to actually spell the word schwa. It follows no rules at all, which is why it's a tricky word, because tricky words, remember, are rule breakers. So schwa is S-C-H, sh, and then wa, W-A, schwa. Okay, so you're going to be practicing these throughout the week at home. Like I said, pay close attention to your LE versus EL endings, okay? We've talked a little bit about alphabetizing before. You already learned how to put words in ABC order by matching the words to the letters of the alphabet, okay? So you are going to go through and ask yourself, do you have a word that begins with A? Do you have a word that begins with B? Do you have a word that begins with C? And so on and so forth. For example, we have a word that begins with A, and that word is angel. Okay, then you would look for a word that begins with B. Do I have any B words? I do. Bundle would come next. What's the next letter in the alphabet? C. Good. I have a word that begins with C, and it says cattle. How about D? I don't have any D words. How about E? I do. Education begins with E. Good. A, B, C, D, E, F. Do I have any F words? I do. Fiction begins with an F, and you will go through each letter in the alphabet to put them in ABC order. Okay? Next up, you already know many different sounds for the letter A. Okay? We have practiced several different sounds for the letter A. We know that the letter A, if you take a peek at today's Google form, sometimes the letter A makes the A sound. See where my pink cursor is? The A sound. Sometimes the letter A can make the A sound. And then remember this upside down E stands for schwa. And the schwa sound is right? So sometimes the letter A says So your job, and it shows up on 21.2, and it's replicated in your Google form. So on 21.2, you're going to be practicing what sound does the letter A make in each of those words, okay? The first sound we talk about is the A sound, okay? Hat, band, last. they all say ah. Next sound is the A sound. Remember, we go A, A. So the letter A can make the A sound, like paper, later, and lady. Just a side note, you might see this E here and think, oh, it's a magic E. But remember, this is not a magic E because who's in charge here? Who's in control? The R is in control. That ER makes it an R-controlled vowel. So the E has no time to help out the A because it's stuck to the R, and the R is bossy. He's in charge. Okay? And then the last one is our schwa sound. Remember, So we have about, along, and balloon. Okay? So you are going to sort the words based on their spelling in your Google form today. Is also on 21.2 in your workbook if you have one. You will also be reading a story called The Wizard today. Okay? So we read Betrayed in our last lesson. So today's story is called The Wizard. What is a wizard? What is a wizard? Good. A wizard is a magician that's found in fairy tales. Now, are fairy tales true stories or untrue stories? Good. We would say they're untrue. What's the word for a made-up story? I think fake starts with the letter F, so it is fiction. Good, fiction, which also happens to be a spelling word this week, right? It is a spelling word this week. So fiction is a spelling word. Fairy tales are fiction. So a wizard is found in a fictional story called a fairy tale. Wizards often cast spells that make people do things like falling asleep for a really long time. Okay? This word is in our story today. Not only is it in our story, it's in our title. The AR is not pronounced R. Otherwise, I would say wizard. The story is not called The Wizard. Instead, it's pronounced which is what makes wizard a tricky word because it doesn't follow the rule, right? It's a rule breaker word. In this word, we have the spelling EA, and usually it's pronounced E, but in this word, it's pronounced A. So this word says break. Okay, say the word break. Good, so that's what makes this word tricky. Some of our other spellings you will have using the letter O to say dungeon, summon. We have O consonant E that makes the sound. Become and done. We have our schwa using the letter A, asleep, and attack. And then we have plus ul, that schwa plus L, easily. Our vocabulary you're going to come across in today's story. The first one is cast a spell, right? So if you cast a spell in a fictional story, what that means is you're doing magic by saying a combination of words. Like if you say hocus pocus, or if you use potions, spells that might make strange things happen, like having a whole crowd of people fall asleep. Okay? The next one is screech. Screech is to make a really shrill, loud cry. And then the last word is dungeon, and dungeon is a dark prison, a lot of times in a medieval castle. Okay, so you are going to be reading the story called The Wizard on your own, and you will be answering some questions in your Google form. Okay, learning targets for today. What did we accomplish? Talked about our new spelling words, talked about how to put them in alphabetical order. We talked about some different sounds for the A spelling. You're going to practice that more in your Google form today. And then you are going to read the story called The Wizard, not The Wizard, The Wizard independently, and answer some comprehension questions on your Google form for that as well. Okay? Please, please, please go back into the story, reread it if you're not 100% sure of an answer for your comprehension. That's why it's there. It's a tool, it's a resource, you should use it. Okay? Nice job today, and we will see you for tomorrow's lesson.